Manchester City and the identity crisis under Guardiola. 5 defenders and more questions than answers. Pep Guardiola's attempt to surprise Real Madrid with a daring formation painfully exposed the challenges Manchester City is facing this season. Deploying 5 defenders to contain a star-studded opponent backfired, culminating in a 3-2 defeat at the Etihad during the Champions League playoffs. Now, the question looms, is City facing an identity crisis? First half of control, second half of collapse. At first, everything seemed under control. City delivered an almost flawless first half, dominating proceedings and imposing their playing style. Guardiola's strategy involved 5 defenders, but not in a traditional sense. Ruben Dias and Ake played as more static defenders, while Stones, Akanji, and Gvardiol took up advanced positions, contributing to midfield and attempting to neutralize the pace of Mbappe and Vini Jr. Real Madrid, with Tchouaméni improvised in defense, struggled to handle the citizens' fluid movement. This creative approach allowed players like Bernardo Silva and Doku to exploit spaces between the opponent's lines. And it worked, at least initially. A first-half goal put City ahead, and it felt as though Guardiola had found the solution to overcome the Spanish giants. However, as we've repeatedly seen this season, the script flipped in the second half. Physical fatigue and individual errors took their toll. The midfield, largely composed of players who are naturally defenders, lost its dynamism, leaving gaps for Real Madrid to exploit. And exploit them they did. Fragility exposed in decisive moments. After conceding an equalizer, City managed to regain the lead through a converted penalty. But mistakes by Ederson, who has faced criticism for his inconsistencies this season, and Kovacic, with a costly error, sealed the team's fate. Real Madrid, led by Mbappe and Bellingham, showcased their strength in crucial moments, turning the game around with 2 late goals. City's inability to maintain intensity for 90 minutes has become a recurring theme this season. Matches against teams like Feyenoord, Sporting, Brentford, and even rivals Manchester United have shown similar patterns. Strong starts followed by sharp drops in performance. When it's not individual mistakes, it's collective decline that compromises results. Identity crisis, a philosophical and tactical dilemma. Beyond results, Manchester City appears to be grappling with an identity crisis. Since Ilkay Gündogan's departure to Barcelona, the team has lost one of its midfield pillars. Gündogan was the man who balanced possession control and chance creation, feeding Haaland and orchestrating the team's rhythm. His absence has left Guardiola at a crossroads. Stick to the style that brought so much success or reinvent the team to adapt to new circumstances. Guardiola chose to remain true to his philosophy. But without Gündogan, and with De Bruyne, 33 years old, Bernardo Silva, 30, and Kovacic, 30, struggling with fitness and consistency, executing this style has become far more challenging. Even Gündogan's return hasn't solved the issue, as the veteran, now 34, no longer has the same impact he once did. To make matters worse, injuries have ravaged the squad. Rodri, one of the team's most consistent players, is sidelined indefinitely, while key players like Stones and De Bruyne have spent more time in the medical room than on the pitch. In attack, Haaland's reliance on proper service is evident, but even he has struggled due to the lack of adequate support. A Guardiola searching for answers. In recent interviews, Guardiola hasn't hidden his frustration. He admitted he is struggling to find solutions, particularly in light of the series of injuries plaguing the squad. Yet his insistence on a possession-based, high-pressing approach, even without the physical resources to sustain it, raises questions. How viable is it to continue with a system that depends so heavily on intensity, at a time when the squad appears physically and mentally drained? The situation also highlights squad management issues. Despite significant investment and the arrival of young talents like Savinho and Doku, Manchester City has failed to find immediate solutions to cover for the absences of its key players. The defense, for instance, continues to suffer from recurring lapses, especially in crucial moments. The future of City, reinvention or persistence. Manchester City's dilemma goes beyond simply winning or losing games. The team is at a crossroads, needing to decide whether to reinvent itself or persist with an approach that brought great success in the past but now appears to be losing its edge. The upcoming fixtures include high-profile opponents such as Newcastle, Real Madrid, and Liverpool. These matches could very well define the course of the season and, possibly, Guardiola's future at the club. More than results, these games will test the manager's ability to find creative solutions and restore the team's identity. Final analysis. There's no doubt that Guardiola is one of the greatest managers in football history, but even the best face challenges. Manchester City, a team that once seemed invincible, now battles its own limitations. The coming weeks will be crucial in determining whether this crisis is merely a temporary setback or the beginning of a deeper shift in the team's status quo. For the fans, all that's left is to hope City finds the answers and returns to being the dominant force that mesmerized the footballing world in recent years.